Picture this. It's 2025 and theaters are packed to the brim. Not for a shiny new blockbuster, but for a 20-year-old movie that's got fans screaming like it's opening night. Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith just stormed back into cinemas, pulling in a cool $42.2 million in 3 days. Proving nostalgia isn't just a feeling, it's box office gold. Meanwhile, Hollywood's churning out reboots and remakes like a broken vending machine, from a lifeless The Crow to a Naked Gun reboot that looks encouraging, but many are asking why bother. So in this video, let's dive into why Hollywood needs to stop remaking our childhood and start re-releasing the classics instead.
You suck, you jackass!
Howdy, and thanks for clicking on this video to see what this jackass has to say. I appreciate you. As I previously alluded to, let's talk about how remakes like Disney's The Lion King or the upcoming How to Train Your Dragon feel like soulless cash grabs that really leave fans out in the cold. While there's a sexy new re-release like Revenge of the Sith that has millennials and Gen Z alike flocking to theaters, reliving the magic of lightsabers and heartbreak. Bonus points for those guys who are clearly having a midlife crisis, breaking out into a lightsaber fight in the middle of a movie theater. So today, let's break down why re-releases are the secret sauce Hollywood's ignoring, and how they're outshining lazy remakes, and which iconic films like Back to the Future, Fight Club, and Jurassic Park I think truly deserve their moment back on the big screen. This is a love letter to nostalgia, a middle finger to reboots, and a wake-up call for movie theaters. So in this video, let's see if we can figure out how to save cinema one re-release at a time. So first off, let's talk about that sexy new re-release, Revenge of the Sith. This bad boy hit theaters in 2005, and back then, it really had a bit of a mixed rap. Some folks loved it, others called it a melodramatic space opera with wooden dialogue. Also, they viewed Anakin as an emo crybaby.
Because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you!
But fast forward 20 years, and Disney decided to toss it back into theaters for its anniversary on April 25th, 2025. And holy lightsabers did it deliver. According to the box office numbers, it raked in $25.2 million domestically in its opening weekend alone, with a global haul of $42.2 million in just 3 days. That's more than some brand new 2025 flicks like The Accountant 2, Death of a Unicorn, Wolfman. On and on we could go. It even outgrossed The Phantom Menace's 2024 re-release, which pulled in a measly $8.7 million opening weekend. I don't look at this as just a win. It's a forced chokehold on the competition. So why is it doing so well? Nostalgia, baby. The prequels, once the punching bag of Star Wars fans, are now getting a second wind. Millennials who grew up with Anakin's angsty journey are packing theaters, and younger Gen Z and Gen Alpha fans are discovering the tragedy of Darth Vader on the big screen. I think part of it was Hayden Christensen's return in Disney Plus shows like Ahsoka and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
They both sucked.
I don't think that hurt it either. The guy's gone from I hate sand memes to a full-on redemption arc. Hollywood loves a good redemption arc. Plus, Revenge of the Sith is just a damn good movie. Epic lightsaber duels, Palpatine's creepy scheming, and of course, Anakin's tragic fall. Seeing it in theaters with a booming sound and a massive screen is like reliving your childhood, but with better snacks. Now, let's compare that to Hollywood's remake and reboot machine. Disney's live-action remakes, for starters, are a mixed bag at best. Since 2010, they've churned out everything from Cinderella to The Lion King to The Little Mermaid. Some, like The Jungle Book in 2016, were legit hits. $966 million worldwide thanks to stunning visuals and a fresh take. Others, well, I think they've been Yawn City. The 2019 Lion King made bank at $1.6 billion, but critics called it a soulless photocopy of the animated classic. They aren't wrong there either. It is. These remakes often just feel like cash grabs, trading on name recognition without adding anything new. They're like ordering a gourmet burger and getting a microwave patty from a gas station.
That's some serious gourmet shit.
Here's the other thing. Remakes and reboots aren't inherently bad. When done right, they can shine. Think Dune in 2021. Denis Villeneuve took a dense sci-fi novel, made it epic. Even though I love the Lynch version, it's one of those so bad it's great movies. The problem is, Hollywood's betting on safe big name franchises instead of taking risks. Remakes work best when they reimagine lesser known stories or films so old they're gathering dust. Try remaking a 1940s noir flick or a forgotten 80s sci-fi gem. Not a movie everyone's already seen a million times on Disney Plus. So why are re-releases like Revenge of the Sith outperforming these remakes? I think it's really simple. They tap into pure, unfiltered nostalgia without screwing with the source material. You don't need to reinvent the wheel when the wheel's already a classic. Re-releases let fans relive the magic and introduce new generations to films that shaped pop culture. In theaters, They're loving this. They're starving for this. Post-COVID, movie theaters have been struggling. Re-releases are a low-risk way to fill seats. No need to spend $200 million on a reboot that might bomb. Revenge of the Sith proved audiences will show up, especially millennials, the ultimate nostalgia generation. We'll drag our kids, our friends, and our wallets to see our childhood favorites on the big screen. And let's talk about some classics that I think deserve a re-release. First up, Back to the Future. Marty McFly, Doc Brown, and the DeLorean. Timeless. A 2025 re-release for its 40th anniversary would have millennials and Gen Z geeking out over hoverboards and Huey Lewis tunes. My kids love Back to the Future, so having them experience that on the big screen would be epic. Next, why not re-release Fight Club? Yeah, I know, I'm breaking the first rule, but this 1999 mindbender is perfect for theatrical comeback. Its anti-consumerist vibe would hit hard with today's audiences, and imagine the memes after a big screen re-release. Also, it bombed bad back in 1999, so I think getting a re-release treatment would be great for those who are giant fans of this film. And then there's Jurassic Park, another no-brainer. Spielberg's 1993 Dino Epic still holds up. Those practical effects hold up better than most movies that come out nowadays. A re-release would remind everyone why we fell in love with movies in the first place. And don't sleep on the first 3 Indiana Jones films, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. These are perfect adventure classics that would pack theaters with fans craving Indy's whip-cracking glory days. We don't need Crystal Skull or Dial of Destiny. In fact, we can just pretend those movies don't exist altogether. I think it would be awesome if theaters were running a Nostalgia Night series with these films. Millennials collectively would lose their shit, showing up in Back to the Future t-shirts and quoting Fight Club lines. Gen Z and Gen Alpha would get to experience these masterpieces the way they were meant to be seen, not on a laptop or a phone, but with a crowd gasping at T-Rex roars or cheering Indy's boulder escape. Those were my chicken jockey scenes back when I was a kid. And here's one of the biggest parts: theaters would make bank on ticket sales, popcorn, and those overpriced sodas. It's really a win-win. Hollywood gets to flex its legacy, and we get to relive the good old days before every movie was a CGI snooze fest. I mean, let's be honest, how many new movies do you go back and rewatch? Now, I'm not saying remakes and reboots should vanish. There's a place for them, especially for obscure films or stories that need a modern lens. But I think Hollywood's got to stop milking the same overdone franchise teat. Instead of a How to Train Your Dragon remake, why not re-release the original trilogy and let fans rediscover Toothless in all his animated glory? Re-releases are cheaper, faster, and way less likely to piss off the fan base. Just look at Revenge of the Sith, $42 million in 3 days for a 20-year-old movie. It was the second highest grossing movie this past weekend. That's the power of nostalgia done right. So Hollywood, take notes. Stop trying to fix what ain't broken. Dust off some of those classics, throw them back in theaters, and watch the millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, hell, even Gen X or baby boomers flock to the movie theaters. The industry's on life support, and re-releases could really help be an adrenaline shot it needs. Let's make moviegoing an event again, not just another streaming night at home. All right, that's my rant. What classics do you want to see re-released? Drop them in the comments, and make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more. As always, the opinions in this video are mine and mine alone, but what do I know? I'm Buttermere Jackass. I'll try to do better next time. Catch you later, friends.
That talks too much. I'm just a jackass of all trades. Don't know shit. I'll keep on talking, acting like I'm so legit. From politics to sports, I'll